Hello everyone, it's Leon here and I'm joined by Phil.
Hello.
Who has been to see Alien Isolation.
I have indeed.
We're just seeing an opening kind of piece of B-roll here. Just set it up very quickly then, what is this about this time?
So it's based around the 1979 original movie rather than anything James Cameron onwards, so there are no guns. You play Amanda Ripley, she's Ellen Ripley's daughter. It's set sometime after the events of Alien. You're trying to retrieve a flight recorder from the Nostromo to find out what happened to your mum. You've been sent in as this four-person team. You've been separated from the group, and now you're on board this huge space station called the Sevastopol, and you are ostensibly alone, but of course the name being the giveaway there, you're obviously not alone. There's going to be aliens in there and they're going to try and kill you. And
one thing I think we should sort of really emphasise here is that this has got basically nothing to do with the Aliens Colonial Marines game.
Absolutely.
Apart from Sega, because we published a story a little while on the website when the screenshots leaked, and a lot of people just assumed it was going to basically be Colonial Marines 2. But this is the Creative Assembly, so it's the guys more famous for Total War, Total War Rome, all those series.
Yeah, the RTS games on PC. Yeah,
but the level of detail looks astonishing. Like we'll see some of the screens and stuff coming up in a moment. But it really is like a proper homage, like fanboy thing for not just for the original film, but for just that 70s way of doing sci-fi. So the green screen CRT, even the costumes we'll see in a little while. There's like 70s wide collared shirts.
Yeah, I mean, do you know, I actually didn't think it was possible after Colonial Marines for any game, any franchise, let alone the Aliens franchise, to actually get this sensation right of sort of inhabiting the movie set, which is part of what you want from any Aliens game, as well as it being a fantastic game in its own right. You need to sort of get that feeling right of inhabiting the movie universe without being on the theme park ride version of it, and that's exactly what this does straight away. And I think part of the key of it, as well as the incredible graphics engine that we're looking at, which has been built from the ground up by Creative Assembly, part of it is that they have taken every little detail from the Nostromo and from the original concept sketches and stuff for the first movie, and they've used that as the base to sort of make this whole space station. So every little detail, every lever on every door, and even like the cereal containers in the kitchens are all based around that first movie. And it's not kind of like grabbing you by the head and shouting at you, look at all this cool stuff that I've remembered from the movie. It's just letting you sort of discover that on your own.
But yeah, I mean, it just looks like the movie set, but like you say, not in a kind of really forcing it in your face kind of way. It's just you go, oh yeah, that's the table from Aliens. Yeah, Alien, I should say. Sorry.
This is my favourite table in gaming lately.
Is that a category now?
Yeah, absolutely. So you walk up to this little robot, and suddenly it makes this sinister kind of let's play noise.
There's crayons on there. So this is a station. So this is a bit like Aliens the film. This was a family place then?
Well, yeah, this was a whole space station, so there were kids here. Yeah. And when you board the Sevastopol...
God, yeah, the cereal containers are exactly the same as... Yeah,
I mean, it's uncanny, isn't it? And it's things that you didn't know that you knew until you see them again. You think, yeah, that's completely authentic. But yeah, I mean, when you board this space station, you don't know why it's been abandoned. Like, there are signs of some sort of struggle or something, but you don't know where everyone's gone. And yeah, I mean, they were kids there, presumably at some point.
So this is Amanda Ripley. This is the daughter that died before Ripley was awoken in Aliens.
In Aliens, yeah.
And now they're sort of retconning it so that because you never know anything that happened to her, do you? You just knew that she died an old woman.
You see that picture of her, I think, in some sort of futuristic newspaper.
So she's sent to this station by the company.
Yeah, it's actually Seegson this time, the company, rather than Weyland Yutani. Seegson is the one that so the Sevastopol picks up the flight recorder, Seegson gets hold of it, and they tell Amanda Ripley, because she's going to want to know where her mum is, so they tell her they found it here. Do you want to be part of the
the company are like
operation?
the company, even though it's a different company, they're famously sort of duplicitous, and you hear in the trailer that he says we can close the book, and I'm assuming they're kind of using her somehow. Okay, so we're picking up the B-roll again here. So you need to get through that door, basically, and she's about to grab that flame torch, I believe, to cut out a panel. I should emphasise that there's only one alien.
There is only, from what I've seen so far, this is actually the bit in the B-roll that we're looking at is the section that I played.
Yeah.
And there is one alien, and he's more than enough. I mean, he's like 10 feet tall. He kills you almost instantly if he gets anywhere near you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you haven't seen the alien at this point. It's still absolutely terrifying because everything is so dark, and because you know that eventually he's going to come out and spring himself upon you, and you don't know what his behaviour is going to be like, but you do know that you don't have a gun at this point. There's no fire button. There's nothing you can do to defend yourself. You've got a really weak melee attack, which looks like it's just going to piss him off. It's going to do nothing at all. So
just going to make him angry.
Yeah, I mean, I was just creeping around, and you know, had the motion tracker going like the entire time, just in absolute terror. I mean, it's so effective at being a first-person horror game, which seems like a bit of a lost art lately.
Yeah, which there does seem to be a sort of a comeback. I mean, what I've seen of this and what you've been saying about it just makes me think of Outlast over and over and over again, which is coming to PS4. It's out on PC at the moment, and that is a survival kind of horror game where, again, you don't have any weapons, you have a camera, you are just creeping around, you're avoiding things all the time, and it's creating that kind of first-person found footage kind of horror movie vibe, and that looks to me what they've gone for with this.
Yeah, I mean, well, credit where it's due. There are a lot of good indie developers that are, you know, pushing the first-person horror boundary, but this is the only time lately that I've seen a big budget version of it. You know, getting the full kind of AAA budget. And succeeding from what I've seen as well.
So we're seeing obviously the alien here. They've gone for the proper kind of old school sort of man in a suit, basically, but it kind of works.
They've also, we just missed it, but they've also kind of got the eye sockets back in the suit that were in that original suit, but they always backlit it so that you never see it. Anyway, he's back.
So this is Samuels, who's from the company.
The company. He's the one that gets in touch with you and tells you. You know what the situation is. Gives you a mission.
And this is the rest of your crew. So this is Taylor and Verlaine is coming up in a minute. They appear to be something on their uniforms. There's something called Torrens, which is some kind of rescue organisation, because the badge says Search, Rescue, Salvage. So these two people seem to be kind of like almost like an international rescue type. You know, AA in space kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't hear from the other two. I only heard from Samuels while I was playing actually. So yeah, there's still an element of mystery about the team that you're with, especially whether to trust them or not.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some stuff leaked. We'll see some of the horror stuff in a moment. I think you'll see the alien in a second, and you have to sort of sneak past him. There's been some talk that there will be sort of soldiers and there will be maybe synthetics to fight against somehow. So there's possibility that they might expand on this kind of horror later on. But that's, like I said, that's just been kind of rumour and gossip so far.
I mean, I've also heard that, you know, there won't just be the one xenomorph, that there will be other enemies. There's also a crafting system in the game, so as you're walking around, you'll pick up bits of like gels.
You saw her, pick up like a thing,
nuts and bolts and things, and you can craft your own weapons. You will have a gun at some point, but you don't know exactly what you'll be able to fire that gun at yet. So it might be.
And that will be within the spirit of the original film, wasn't it? The flamethrower and the motion tracker they made themselves, didn't they? They just hobbled it together out of what they could find.
And you know, the motion tracker in this game looks like something that you could make yourself as like a school project or something if you were in the 70s and just needed to find something to band together quickly and, you know, some sellotape.
I think we're going to see the alien soon, and I mean, we'll see in a moment. I mean, it's kind of insta death if you get caught by the alien. That's it. There's no kind of
there's absolutely nothing you can do. The first time I came across her, I was at about this point, and then I ran into like a storage closet thing, and I didn't realise that you needed to back up while the alien, because you know, he saw me go in there. You need to press a button to back right up and then hold your breath, and he'll just walk on by really slowly. I forgot to do that. He just pulled me out and just did me through the stomach with his tail, and that was that.
Right, so there's him getting caught. So there's Ripley trying to run away and not doing it fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, he's just terrifying. He inhabits the space so entirely because he's so tall, and the way he moves around. He's the most successful animated alien that I've seen, and I mean, admittedly, the benchmark was low after Colonial Marines, but we should reiterate that this is nothing to do with Gearbox software. It's
the lighting as well that works so well, because I mean, you're seeing little bits of him here, and it's almost he's just a shadow, where the highlights around him is just picking him out of what's behind him.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't dare look at him on screen for very long at all. You can only really look at him for long enough to locate him, and then you're off again. And also, the game does the classic kind of making every pipe and every bit of detritus look like the alien to throw you off the scent as well.
So I mean, it's a very brave looking take on the series. Obviously, a mainstream game going away from shooting and going for quite a stealthy, slow paced thing. Do you think it's the right move?
I'm absolutely confident that it's going to be a fantastic game. I don't know if it's going to sell particularly well because there isn't a gun pointing in the screen, and maybe some people want that. But in terms of getting the series back on track, it does everything it needs to. I'm so encouraged that Creative Assembly have got this, presumably this huge budget to create, a team from scratch, an engine from scratch, and they're using it in all the right directions, in my opinion.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.